told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim, he's AC, it's the Cash Killing AC Sports Report. With a lot of upsets last week, we struggled with our Week 1 predictions. Let's get back on track starting right now. The 1 o'clock game, which is Oakland at Buffalo. AC, who you got?
This is going to be a close one, but I'm going to take Buffalo in a fairly high-scoring game. I'm going to take them just slightly over Oakland, but if Oakland has any chance in this game, Darren McFadden's going to have a good game. I don't see him having a big enough game, though. I'm going to take Buffalo 35-28.
I'm going to take Buffalo 27-14. They looked good last week. I don't think they'll look that good again, though. Second game, you got Kansas City at Detroit, a 1 o'clock game. Who you got in this one?
I got Detroit over Kansas City. Not a whole lot to say about this game. Kansas City didn't look too good last week, and Detroit looked fairly decent against a good team in the Buccaneers. So I'm going to take Detroit in this one, 24-17.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City, we said one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. I looked at it, I'm like, there's no way they're winning that division. And they really slipped up. They cannot afford to lose to teams like the Bills. They got hammered last week. And really, there's no reason for me to think going in against the Lions team that looked really good. Matt Stafford looked really good. Give me the Lions in this game, 30-27. Game 3, Baltimore at Tennessee, another 1 o'clock game. Who you got?
Baltimore. You got to have Baltimore. Coming off a big win against Pittsburgh, I don't think there's any way they're going to blow this game. I'm going to take Baltimore 35-24.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why this would even really be a close game. I'll take 30-10 Baltimore. The fourth game, another 1 o'clock game. This one's actually kind of interesting. Cleveland, who had a tough loss to the Bengals last week. Not sure if Andy Dalton's going to be able to go. And then you got the Colts, who just got massacred last week. Who you got?
Actually, I'm going to go with the Cleveland in this one. I think it's going to be a really close one. Could possibly come down to the wire. But, I mean, the Colts look like they just didn't have an identity last week. And I don't care who you're playing. They look awful. Like, just a team without a purpose. So I'm going to take the Browns in this one, 17-10.
I'm going to take the Colts in this one. I think they'll do enough. I think they'll hand the ball off a little bit more. 17-14 Colts. Then we move on to Tampa Bay at Minnesota. This is an interesting game. Both lost in pretty close matchups in Week 1. Donovan McNabb's going to have to step it up for Minnesota, but I do see Minnesota coming out on top in this game at 24-20.
Yeah, wow, you really just took my score out from under me there. I was going to say it's going to come down to the wire, but Minnesota's going to pull it out in the very last second. I'm going to go 27-24.
Now, New Orleans, one of the teams that got robbed Week 1. Their offense was probably the best offense in the NFL Week 1 besides the Packers, but unfortunately, they were playing the Packers. You got Chicago at New Orleans, a 1 o'clock game. For me, this one's easy. Any game that's not in Soldier Field for the Bears this year does not bear well because they have to go into some tough environments. Give me the Saints 30-17.
Yeah, I agree. I look for the Saints to be fairly dominant in this game at the Superdome. I'll take the Saints 24-10.
Then you got Jacksonville at the Jets. I picked the Cowboys to upset the Jets last week. If Tony Romo didn't pull a Tony Romo, they would have. And Jacksonville at the Jets in this game, 1 o'clock. Who you got?
I got the Jets. Not a whole lot to say about that. If Sanchez is sufficient and the passing attack is sufficient, they should have no problem handling this Jacksonville squad. I'll go Jets 28-13.
I'm not having a good feeling about the Jets this week. Mark Sanchez is taking some time to get warmed up each season. I think I might pick the Jaguars in this game. I'll take Blaine Gabbert, or actually Luke McCown, and the Jaguars along with MJD on a big game. I'll take the Jags 20-14. I mean, Mark Sanchez, when he has those games, really holds his team back. Next game, Seattle at Pittsburgh, a rematch of Super Bowl 41, I think it was, where Pittsburgh stomped Seattle, and 40. I'm not expecting too much of a different result in this. Pittsburgh's going to have a lot of motivation to come out and prove a lot of people wrong who are doubting them after getting crushed week 1. Pittsburgh, Seattle, who you got?
I got Pittsburgh, but I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. They looked really awful in week 1. And, to be honest with you, if this game was in Seattle, I'd think about the Seahawks. I don't think I'd do it, but I'd think about it at least. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 24-17, though.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh in this one, something similar to that. I'll go 27-17, something around that area. 17 with Tavares Jackson as your quarterback is pretty big accomplishment. The Redskins last week came out and shocked the world. Another game at FedEx Field this week. They welcome in Larry Fitzgerald, Kevin Kolb, and the Cardinals. Who you got in this one?
I'll tell you what, it's going to come down to Ken Kolb get to Larry Fitzgerald and make stuff happen with those two guys. And can the Arizona Cardinals secondary, who isn't looking too strong at this point, hold down, I can't believe I'm saying this, Rex Grossman. That's going to be the thing for me, but I'm going to take the Cardinals in a very close one. I'm going to take the Cardinals 28-24.
The Redskins look like a team of destiny week 1. The Cardinals played a Panthers team that's defense is not exactly good. But then again, Rex Grossman looked good in week 1, and I don't think he'll look awful in this game, but I think Kevin Kolb looked really impressive week 1. Give me the Cardinals in this game 28-20. So we'll go on now to Green Bay, Carolina. Cam Newton, a huge week last week. I think a lot of it had to do playing the Cardinals' defense. But unfortunately for them, they welcome in the defending Super Bowl champs who didn't seem to lose too much of a stride week 1. I don't see any reason why the Packers couldn't go 14-2 at this point or something around there. I like the Packers in this game 35-14.
A lot of people are still talking about Cam Newton, even against this week against the Packers defense. And look what the Packers defense did to Michael Vick last year. They shut him down fairly well in the playoffs in that divisional game. So I don't think any much of a different result here. I think the Packers defense handles Cam Newton fairly easily, and they win 35-24.
Next game, you got Dallas at San Fran. This is where we start the 4:05 games. I don't know why they're playing at 4:05 because usually you play at 4:15, but that's what the schedule's telling me. You got Dallas at San Fran. Dallas coming off a disappointing loss. I like them to rebound in this one and beat San Fran in a close game 24-17. Just your regular 24-17 score.
I'm going to take Dallas as well. I don't think, people are still talking about Romo choking, but whatever. I think they'll beat San Francisco. That's all I have to say. I'm going to go with them 30-20.
Then you move on to Cincinnati at Denver. The spoiled Denver fans, you're killing me. I mean, you're not spoiled because your team has not been very relevant since Jake Plummer was your quarterback. But do you really think that your third string... Tim Tebow isn't the third string quarterback by accident. Compared to a guy on Kyle Orton who threw 20 touchdowns and 5 picks last year is really a better option? At some point you gotta realize they only brought him in there to make money and maybe work with for a few years down the road. In all seriousness though, we're not sure about much with the Bengals. I know I said for the Browns, I'm not sure if Andy Dalton's going to be able to go. I don't know what I was talking about there. That's for the Bengals. A.J. Green had a big week 1, but I like a rebound game from the Broncos, 20-10.
I'm actually going to go with not the Panthers. What the hell am I talking about? The Bengals in this one. I don't know. I just call it a gut feeling, but I think they're going to go into Denver and win fairly easily. I'm going to go with them 27-10.
Now, a team that got embarrassed on Monday Night Football on their home field, Tom Brady threw for over 400 yards. This is playing on another primetime Sunday 4:15 game. Houston at Minnesota. Houston coming off a huge win. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't have another huge win here again. I like the Texans 35-20.
Yeah, I like the Texans as well. They came out firing on all cylinders against a diminished Colts team. So, I mean, going into Miami, I think it's going to be a little closer than that, though. I'll go 24-20 Texans.
Then you go to San Diego at New England. There's a few real big matchups. I think there's two obvious ones. The other one we'll get to next. San Diego at New England, 4:15 game. I like Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers to upset the New England Patriots. It isn't by accident that I picked Phillip Rivers to win the MVP. Coming off a slow week 1, I see something in this game. Give me the Chargers 28-27.
One word, overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. New England's going to win it on an overtime field goal, 30-27.
So I think we all feel that game's going to be close. A lot of people have questioned, can Phillip Rivers win in the clutch? Well, here's a game for him to prove it, and Nate Kading won't be holding him back anymore. Then you go to the game that's probably have the biggest hype around it. Michael Vick heading back into Atlanta. I'm looking at a lot of the odds. The Falcons are favored, this and that, coming off getting stomped week 1 by the Bears. Who you got in this game, AC? 8:20 football night in America on NBC. We'll get Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels.
It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a really close game. It's always tough to go down to Atlanta and play in the Georgia Dome. I mean, it's going to be really close. But I'm going to look for the Eagles to pull one out. I don't know, maybe out of their ass if you call it that. But they're going to pull it out, I think, 28-24.
I don't know what else you would call it. I said something in the NBA playoffs when I saw the Heat Celtics, and I said, on paper, the Celtics should destroy the Heat in this series, but there's something of that LeBron James is not going to lose to the Celtics again. And there's something in my mind that Michael Vick is not going to lose to the Falcons. The Eagles with Kevin Cobb last year tore up the Falcons. I see the Eagles winning this game. Call us homers or whatever, but I do not see any way that I think it's actually better for them that they are in Atlanta, because that's just going to motivate Michael Vick anymore. Look for a big game out of Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin. Give me the Eagles 27-21. Final game, the Monday night game, 8:30. The Rams coming off losing to the Eagles and the Giants coming off losing to the Redskins. Who you got?
I don't know, man. It's two teams that were beaten pretty badly. I mean, the Giants were beaten later in the game. The Rams were just beaten throughout the game. So there's two teams looking for some sort of a redemption. Maybe a little bit more with the Giants because they were beaten by the Redskins. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with the home team in this one, being the Giants. I'm going to go with them 27-21 over the Rams, but I have to say, if this game was in St. Louis, I think I would pick the Rams.
With questions about Steven Jackson's availability and what Sam Bradford left this game last week, I think that this is a game where the Giants will make a statement. I like the Giants 21-13 in this game. I think the Rams offense is going to struggle against this Giants defense. Check out the NFL final score this Sunday. You'll get me, AC, and KJ, who you haven't gotten in a while unless something comes up, and it always seems to with KJ. So stick around, because there's always the excitement of KJ making a stupid quote while trying to express his thoughts about the NFL. We'll see you guys later.